If you've ever found yourself taking on great projects, taking on new ambitions and getting very excited about something that you wish to achieve, and then finding yourself falling flat on it, only to rinse and repeat and go back to square one, I'm going to explain how during the evolution of your personal growth and your emotional growth this can happen and what we can do to try and offset it. So I'd like to discuss the emotional cycle of change. The emotional cycle of change is a system detected in the 80s whereby at the beginning of a project one may feel very enthused, very positive, very excited. But what happens, and you may have experienced this yourself, I know I have, that you throw yourself into a project and pretty quickly you invest all of your energy into it and you feel very good. You expect that if you push these buttons, tick these boxes and engage in this process, you're going to do very well. It's just a matter of time. At the back of your mind, you may wonder why other people don't share your enthusiasm when you tell them about your projects, but you press on regardless. But after a while, you cross a line. Now you feel like you're wading through treacle. Now you feel like that initial high, that initial enthusiasm is starting to get weakened, chipped away at. And then you realize that the project you thought was going to be the answer to all of your problems isn't as easy as you thought it was. You start to realize that the project, the silver bullet that you thought you were going to fire at all of your challenges and problems in life, isn't working. Shooting blanks, shall we say. And then you reach something known as the Valley of Despair. And the Valley of Despair is that place where you just feel this is pointless, because about that time, through luck, design, or maybe just psychological fallibility, you come up with a new project. You come up with a new form of dopamine hit, which is going to replace that old project and put you back on top. So what you do is you rinse and repeat, and you go back to the top of the cycle and engage in yet another project, which is a surefire thing. And then, as you learn more about the surefire project thing, you pass into informed pessimism, from uninformed optimism, back to the Valley of Despair. And so it goes on and on in a repetitive cycle, year by year. Most people consume without subscribing. I do it myself regularly with other channels, so I understand. But if you do get an opportunity to hit the bell, or hit a like, or make a comment, or subscribe, hey, there are 4 choices, 4 ways that you can make this old man happy. What I'd like to do is suggest a few rejigs about what is going on. What you're doing is you're giving yourself lots of dopamine hits by imagining some bright future which cannot emerge, not with the skills and the attributes you're bringing. You can't get by on fumes. You can't make things happen simply by wishing they would. The reframes that I'd like to suggest are these. First of all, please recognize that the uninformed optimism stage is your dopamine factory at work. You're getting hits, you're getting your fixes, and you are serving a different kind of habit to the one you think you are. Having come to terms with that, then you have to look at what uninformed optimism really is. When you advance through the phase into informed pessimism, that's when the real learning is starting. So let's replace uninformed optimism with the dopamine factory, and let's replace informed pessimism with the Crucible of Learning. And when we get to the bottom of that learning, instead of talking about the Valley of Despair, let's talk about the Nexus, the place where you decide the direction you're going to take next. Because this really is the crucial point. When you get to that lowest point and you feel that lowest ebb, this is when you have to reject the traditional approach of just abandoning the projects and going back to start with something new and shiny. You have to come to terms with the fact that shiny object syndrome will not serve you. But if you're in a repetitive cycle of shiny object, valley of despair, shiny object, valley of despair, you need to take stock. You need to realize that all the time you're engaging in an emotional and personal growth process where if you iterate and reiterate, examine and re-examine, you can grow and you can evolve your emotions, so that instead of being solely problem aware and seeking a silver bullet to fix your problems, you can go into the next stage, which is being outcome aware, because you know what the outcomes you require are. And the next stage, of course, is method aware, and this is where you start to use strategies, and the strategies that you use are going to make the difference between you failing and succeeding. Let's discard the notion of failure and then start to see those learning points and those difficulties as a project, a conundrum to be solved, something to tackle. Because if you see those challenges and those problems in that way as projects, you're more likely to start to evolve and develop systems and strategies which are going to take you from that crucible at the bottom and from that nexus and into a higher level plane, which is going to be success. So that's my rant for today. It's going to be interesting to try and edit this one down. Hey, everyone's got a cross to bear, eh? So what I'd like to do, if I may, is leave you with one final thought. And that is, whatever it is you dare to do or dream, begin it now.